Hello, welcome to another one of our videos where today this is some simple tests that you can use. It's great for anyone with knee trouble or an ankle trouble, to be honest, but this is very much specific to an ACL injury where you very much completed most of the strength and stability stage, and now you're at the last point where you're sort of testing to see if you're capable of able to return to sports safely. So I'm going to show you three different drills here that you can use for single leg stability, and also the real part where it can go all wrong. So the first one is simple, where you're just really doing some one leg hops over a 6 meter distance. So I'm going to play the video here, and you're basically testing the unaffected leg versus the affected leg. So Nathan here doesn't have an ACL or any injury for that matter. In fact, he's just got sore legs from training too hard the day before, but he's just basically not going for distance or speed here, just going for control and seeing how he can go, just trying to balance on that single leg. Then he walks back and he'll do the other side, and you'll see here he'll test the right leg, and we're basically looking for anything, any deviances, anything noticeably different from left to right. So in his case, he doesn't have an injured leg, but if we did, we might test the good leg first and then test the affected leg second to observe any changes that we might see that sort of telling us things probably aren't quite there yet. You won't notice them when you're just doing slow strength training, but you will notice them when they try to move at high speeds, and especially the landing. That's where the cracks, I suppose, would appear. All right, so that's the first test. Okay, so the second test is pretty simple. Now you're trying to jump for distance. So because he's trying to go further, there's a lot bigger impact and bigger braking forces are required on the landing. All right, so it's not the jump that we're looking for, it's the landing. All right, so let's see. So we know on the standard one, he got roughly 4 hops over the 6 meter distance. We'll see how many he gets on this one.
All right, off you go. There you go, well done.
All right, so we saw there that he got 3 jumps then. So now we'll have a look at how he goes on the other leg.
Yeah, good.
All right, so then that's how we get to see like all the different landing mechanics, and really sort of seeing how he tries to brake, and if he's landing with good hip actions or trying to land too straight. So in that case, he's landing too straight. So we don't really want to see that so much. All right, so now let's move to the second test, and the last test, sorry, to see what the difference is with this one. So this next test is where we're looking for speed. So the first one we just looked for just basic landing. Second one we looked for distance. This time we're looking to see how he controls trying to do it at high speed. All right, so let's have a look how he does this left leg. I'll do this one in slow motion to get an idea. All right, so you can see on these first few, like he really stays quite low on that first one especially. I'd like to see him probably stay low, and it's good how he uses his arm. And yeah, and you get a good idea on how he's going to be able to absorb contact and landing mechanics, because it's really this position here that's going to put things in that awful position. So this is where you're trying to see all of the training that you've done up to this point has been prepared in the way that you're going to absorb shock and not land in horrible alignment and positions that will create pain. All right, so that's the second last test. There is actually one more that I do, which is probably not a little bit different. I already usually would have done it prior to this, more for ankle, but we'll go through that one as well. Okay, so this last test is where we'll have a look at Nathan trying to zigzag his way. So we start to put in a bit of a sideways movement. Again, I might try and do it like just controlled landings, and then as he gets the feel of it, then we try to speed it up. So I might give him a few sets, and then once he gets familiar with what to do, and usually I might try and like put a line or a rope or something there to try and get them like a visual to jump over. So sometimes I might have used that line in the concrete that you see on the right there, and that just gives them a good something to aim for and how to create the mechanics of what to do. All right, but again, these are good just return to sport tests that you can use. If pain's present, you know you're not ready. If there's obvious weakness, you know you're not ready. If there's a noticeable difference from one side, from the affected to the non-affected, you know you're not ready. All right, so you need to go back and work on your strength drills, come back, retest it, working on change of direction, pivoting, cutting. All those things are all things that you need to do to make sure there's no obvious deviations from good leg to affected leg. All right, so I hope you've enjoyed those, and we'll see you on one of our next videos.